Hello, El Cajon Valley. This is Anthony Devine, your teacher librarian, and I'm talking to you today about our school-wide literacy initiative, the ECV Way. This presentation will discuss the history of literacy instruction at ECV, our current practices within the ECV Way, and our next steps. In the early 2000s, ECV began to focus on offering professional development around literacy instruction through hiring Laura Whitaker as our first full-time literacy coordinator. When Jonathan Lemaster took over as our literacy coordinator, he began leading Cal Professionals trainings around academic literacy, and he formed the Literacy Action Team, which helped to lead prep period literacy trainings. As the Grossmont District became involved with literacy professional development, we began working with the literacy consultant Lynn Kuzmich. The district also began to purchase programs that provide online literacy support, and we expanded our partnership with CalPass. Between 2009 and 2012, ECV teachers focused heavily on professional development around literacy. We were involved with Cal Professionals, ECAP, REAP, and district trainings with Lynn Kuzmich. And in the 2012 school year, the ECV English, Math, Science, and Social Science Department chairs worked together to create the ECV Way. The ECV Way was started by our staff, and it develops and grows through the efforts of everyone at El Cajon Valley. When introducing the ECV Way to the staff, Ryan Trammell showed us an image of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speaking to a large crowd at Washington, D.C. Mr. Trammell reminded us that the civil rights movement didn't succeed because of the actions of one person. Rather, the movement made progress because of people who worked together toward a common goal. Mr. Trammell's message was true a few years ago, and it's still true today. If our efforts to work together to improve literacy at ECV succeed, it will be because we all work together. Phase 1 of the ECV Way focused on cognitive academic vocabulary. The goal was to get all teachers to deliver explicit vocabulary instruction from our directive verbs list, as well as from content vocabulary. Teachers were provided with word walls, and we received training that advocated color coding our vocabulary based on each word's part of speech. Teachers were asked to use the word walls we purchased and to use the directive verb of the week at least once per period. The thinking behind this push for more explicit academic vocabulary comes from a focus on what we want our students to be able to do. The point of this focus on vocabulary is not to get our students to memorize the definitions of directive verbs. Instead, we want our students to be able to make the cognitive moves that the directive verbs refer to. We want our students to reach the deepest levels when it comes to Webb's depth of knowledge and to reach the highest levels when it comes to Bloom's taxonomy. As part of the ECV Way kickoff, each staff member and student received lists of directive verbs, lists of question stems, and lists of products and activities that reflect the different depths of knowledge. The following school year, the ECV Way entered Phase 2. In this part of our program, we decided to focus on prompt analysis. The point of this was to make demystifying academic prompts a school-wide, step-by-step process for students. Now, based on the dry subject matter, you wouldn't think this would excite much passion among our staff members, but it did. To make a long story short, some ECV staff members became involved in a heated professional disagreement over how to mark academic prompts. But we made progress, and we agreed to compromise. Students did, in fact, analyze academic prompts on a wider scale at ECV. Whether it was done on paper or digitally, our students made progress when it came to demystifying academic prompts. Phase 3 of the ECV Way reflects where we are currently with this initiative. Phase 3 focuses on writing short responses to academic prompts. We decided to call this kind of writing ABC writing, borrowing from our trainings with Lynn Kuzmich. A stands for address the prompt, B stands for backing up your claim with evidence, and C stands for conclude your thinking. ABC writing asks students to give an answer to a prompt, defend that answer with reasons or evidence, and conclude their thinking around the prompt. These represent a small sample of the ABC writing paragraphs we have had our students create at ECV. Speaking of samples, the ECV Way page on our school website has a sortable spreadsheet enabling you to easily find student samples, writing prompts, rubrics, and other ECV Way resources. You can use the filters on the page in order to quickly sift through the resources and find exactly what you're looking for. If you have any ECV Way materials that you are using that you would like to share on this page, please email it to me. And now, for our next step in the ECV Way, Phase 4. Phase 4 will focus on student self-evaluating and peer evaluating. Whether students are expressing their ideas with pencil and paper, blogs, websites, or discussions, it's important that they develop the skills to evaluate the clarity and accuracy of their communication. Students can develop the skills needed to evaluate the effectiveness of writing using writing checklists. A few departments have already sent me samples of writing checklists. This example, provided by Mr. Milliken, asks students to label the key features that he expects to see in student writing. Getting students to reflect on whether or not their writing addresses the prompt, offers evidence, and concludes thinking represents a significant step forward in developing students who are effective communicators. Again, samples of writing checklists are available on the ECV Way page of our website under the Academics tab. I will continue to add resources to this page from our ECV Way binder, as well as additional resources developed by each department. You can modify any of the resources you find here as you continue the work of improving academic literacy at El Cajon Valley High School. Thank you very much for taking the time to view this presentation, and thank you very much for the work each of you have been doing to make the ECV Way a homegrown success.